Hi everybody and welcome to this week's weekly update. So it's now Sunday afternoon, so I'm just putting together some clips to do the update, but I just wanted to do this introduction prior to doing that. So as you know, we were debating whether to do the liner or fiberglass. Some may have guessed already, but you're going to find out in a minute because there's some clips that have been done through the week which I'm going to do after this, and then after that I'll come back on and let you know what we did or didn't do from Friday, Saturday, because I didn't do any filming Friday or Saturday, and there's reasons for that, and I will explain why, and a few other purchases that we've made from Facebook Marketplace yesterday and today. Got some mega bargains, and probably need a bit of advice on some things. Keith's got good ideas. He's been, well, let me just show you. Drawing his plans for the filters, etc. So I'm just gonna stop now. Oh, just to thank all the new subscribers as well. So welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy it, and hope you enjoy our journey. Thank you for that. And if anybody's got any hints or tips for us how we can improve this channel, just drop us a comment. But yeah, I'm just gonna put together the clips now of the recordings that were taken up until Thursday, and then I'll come back and talk a bit more then about what's next. Right then, so this week's weekly update, as you know, Keith said his mate was coming around to help today, and he's just said get the kettle on his ear, so let's go and see. Oh, look who it is. He turned up. Hey up, mate.
So all these cameras are we going to tell you what?
Yeah.
Make you famous.
Gonna make this guy famous. This is the legend that is Matt. And this is the van that I've been painting. Well, I didn't do the front, Matt did that. I've got to carry on and do a bit more. That's why he's working. That's why I've got my big thick jumper on, because it's bloody cold. But doesn't look like the splints is here. So yeah, here we go. So I think that kind of gives away that we're getting it fiberglassed.
That's if I don't storm off in the mood or something.
Oh, I better make the tish wrong then, hadn't I? And not put tomatoes near your eggs. But yeah, so I better go and make Matt a cup of tea, and I'll swing back in a bit once he's done a bit of work, and show you how we're getting on.
Give me the colour chart for the tea pour.
Colour chart for the tea.
Get that wrong and I'm off, mate. We're done.
Okay, so that just load it. So we're still on Monday, and Matt arrived this morning, as you know, and this is what he's been doing through the day. We've had breakfast, and now he's starting back up again. I'll say breakfast, it was more like brunch. So Matt's just going to give you a little bit of an overview of where we're at, what he's done so far, and what he's doing next.
Gotta be careful what I say. Don't want to say the wrong thing and have them all jumping all over me. Sticking their knives in my back again. Can't be having that, eh?
Especially blunt ones.
Right, where are we at? All the foams on the walls and the floor. Skimmer bonded in. Pipes cut off to a good distance to glass onto, which is going to be tomorrow. This is a primary coat of resin over all of the foam, but I may not get this all on in one hit because the vapour that is going to come off it, putting it on in such a big volume.
And because it's deep as well.
It's absolutely crazy, and yeah, because my head isn't above the layer of vapour, it's just going to be pretty strong. So I think the way I'll go, get these 10 kilos on, and then just get out. Then
because we don't want Matt dying of fumes.
then get out, set that fan up, just drive that vapour out, and then get back in again. Right.
It's actually strong, I can smell it from here.
This is the point where I say to some people, if you don't like the smell, shut the doors on the house.
It's quite addictive. it's not a bad
bad
smell.
Some if you want.
No, thank you. It's not a horrible smell, is it? It's just very strong.
I've said this a million times to a million people. Customer's wife will very often say, "That's a nice smell."
Mm.
Yet the customer, 9 times out of 10, being a bloke, will be horrified by the smell. Saying, you know, even to the point that they can't stand it, which is why I often suggest not to lean on the walls, and because the resin's going to go up the top there, and you don't want to get it on you.
No, it's done a cracking job so far. That foam, God.
Made it look a bit bigger, Keith.
Massive, isn't it? No.
Yeah. Because it's a light colour, it obviously looks loads bigger. But,
Like when Keith fitted that cream carpet for me and made the lounge look a lot bigger. Just going over the blocks there, that just seals any dust that might still be there. Timber, it's always a good idea to prime it with resin first, no matter what you're doing. Now it'll be interesting to me, this vapour that I can smell as of now, this is just nothing. But there will be a point where it builds up to a point where I'm like leaning away from it. That's the point where you think, right, you know,
Enough's enough.
A bit silly.
Yeah.
Just get out. It's normally after about 10 minutes or so. The phenomena is, because the pond is so big, if the vapour did get too much over here, I don't have to do a continuous hit of this resin. I can always just go over to a point further away from where
yeah,
the
that's
worst of the vapour is.
fair point.
To get myself even further away from it, just
Yeah.
use the pole like that. But there'll be a point where it just becomes very offensive.
So go on then. What's the biggest size pond you've done? I'm going to start asking them stupid questions now that everyone asks.
Just as I put the hardener in, you mean?
Yeah.
Just as I'm against the ticking time bomb. Mind you, I can't say that, can I? But that's me making out it's harder than it really is. Gotta be so careful what I say now.
There's an art to it. Definitely. Oh yeah, and up there, if you can see what Matt's done is he's worked on the skimmer that he made us, and he's made that flush at the front with where the frame comes out to, so ground it off at the top to make it level with the top of the walls as well, so that's all nice and flush.
And again, testament to how flat the walls were. There's barely any paste in there to bridge any joints. A couple of strategic cuts.
Done a grand job on that block work, didn't he?
Yeah, beautiful.
Really proud of him for that.
You may put in this amount, it's not enough to build that vapour up where it's warning you, your body starts to warn you. Yeah, just
Is that when you pass out on the floor?
I'm not gonna let it out.
I've got no chalk line around it.
Pardon?
Got to do another chalk line round the bottom.
Oh, I like that one, that's handy. I could fiberglass the pond directly to the foam without doing this, but this is just good practice to do it. And it will mean that any, and I mean these are insignificant joints, these will be filled by this resin, so when it comes to paddle rolling it, it won't be needed to chase air about. Careful doing this, I'll be calling me a show off now.
It's got moves.
I'll get slammed for that, look. Looking like it's showing off about doing.
Go on then, take two.
Oh yeah, something about the temperatures. Knowing what they're going to be like, particularly earlier on in the mornings. Just want to build some heat up into the system rather than put say 600 on it, which would be more than man enough. Just don't want any resin drain out. See what's done there, look? Building up in the corner, look.
Yeah.
If we can avoid that, we'll avoid that happening. By putting a thicker system on, the thicker the fiberglass is, the more heat that builds up in it. And the less likely you are in cooler temperatures to get what's called resin drain. You better watch out up there as well. Yes.
There's Splints. Come down here, Splints. Come on.
Again, I was saying to Keith earlier about little joints like this, they're not worth filling in with bonding paste because they're insignificant. And this resin will seal those over quite easily, which looking at that, it absolutely has. It's about now on a smaller pond. When we get into the bottom of that bucket, that the smell will become very offensive, but there's actually plenty of air in here. We'd always rather fiberglass a pond of this size than something, you know, half the size and technical. This is just dead straightforward, nice and flat. Nice flat floor as well as the walls.
Spent long enough on it, didn't you? Yeah.
I think I'm still going to get out, you know, rather than go for gold and do the whole lot by mixing up another batch of resin, I'll just take a break, finish that tea that I never.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cup
Got
tea's
through.
up here, yeah.
Another fresh one.
I'll put the kettle on, please. That's what I was doing when I was painting the beams.
You know what?
Well,
Yeah,
they
all the
were-
beams, I think.
yeah, them beams. It's gonna look absolutely mint when it's done.
What if I bother turning up again tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to because I've got to paint the van tomorrow.
Yeah, midsummer I wouldn't be in here now. I'd be out doing it with a pole. The stench would be overpowering, but it's not so bad, you know, because the temperature's quite a bit, it's no more than 18 now, is it?
No, it's starting to cool down a lot. Last couple of days.
Yeah. Oh, I listen to him. Splinters and Ness are getting on famously. I'll do a little shot of them two playing in a bit. I'm trying to work out what the smell is. It's like paint. It's like, you know, when you're mixing paint, it's like some people like the smell of paint, some don't they?
Aerosol paint, I can't stand that stuff.
Yeah,
Even
that
though- even
stuff
though
like
my
that don't bother me. Yeah.
van's- Even though my van's covered in it.
Yeah. Can actually get quite high on it, can you? That's why you're bouncing off the walls half the time.
I just get high on working for fantastic customers like you and Keith, Paula.
Oh. We're going to have to go for a curry after this, when it's done.
You have some vivid dreams tonight, you will be this close to this.
Oh, I tell you. Keith will be ringing you in the morning and telling you, don't let her near that
Keith-
pond.
Keith will not be needing his normal 4 Stellas tonight, will he? Right, open that window, Paula, can't I? Get some more of it down there.
Right, guys, I'm going to let Matt wash that off and then come out for his cup of tea, and I'll snap back in a bit. Hi everybody, so day 2 of the fiberglassing. Matt's come back and is now, after the resin's all dried overnight. We did have some rain overnight, nothing's leaked in, which is great news. And Matt's now gonna just do a bit of a walk through and explain what he's gonna do next.
Right, without wishing to make this sound over technical or anything like that, or make out this job is harder than it is, this is just the way I'm going to do it. I said yesterday, it's better sometimes to work on a nice big job like this because you've got so much space to work and the vapour build-up doesn't get as bad as in a smaller pond, especially a smaller and deep one like this is. So, with all that space in the world to work, I've got easy access to both good sized windows, and in close proximity there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that one over there, 5 return pipes. These all take time to glass around and make sure they're right with multiple layers of glass. At the same time, I'll do all of that. I'm probably going to do all of this in one go, right? So, we've got a little bit of a gap in the foam there that I didn't fill in with bonding paste because I knew today I'm going to be getting some glass out early doors around the window frames, and I can just drop some down there to bridge that gap, and that it's a very slight one. The resin was never going to.
Hi, Splints of photo bombing.
Yeah, go around the technical bits first. Allow that to go off, and the secondary reason I'm doing it like this, I mean, us GRP guys will all do it different ways. I could, if I wanted to, start part way along the window frame and just blast and just go around all the way, but there's no rush to finish the job. So take the time with it as always, and because we're working at the lower side of the temperature scales, now this isn't saying it's too cold and you've got to be absolutely milliliter perfect on the hardener. Because we're at the lower end of the 15 to 25, which is really comfortable, I'm going to just judge how long it takes for the resin that will be in that bucket down there to start setting and then really start setting hard, and that will give me a good better judgment for later on as to how much hardener to put in, although I pretty much know already, but it's just one of them. Get the technical stuff out of the way first, and then kind of making life a little bit easier on myself, I suppose, rather than blasting it out all in one go. So that's about it. On the bottom drains as well, just get the bottom drains done out of the way now, and then once all the technical stuff's done, then I will make a start, probably at that point, say 1, 2, 3 drops in. We've already done that window frame, so it's just a piecing in of the underneath of the window frames all the way around to there, and join up to that point, and do one section of the floor, which means I will get out at that point on the window because that floor will be wet, and then let that all go off hard enough so all the kit can come and sit on this protected fiberglass on the floor. And that's how that one's going to go for the first sort of 2 sessions anyway. Yeah. I know Keith's not here to see it being done, otherwise I'll explain it to him. To go back to work because he couldn't stand the smell.
He didn't like the smell. He opened those doors last night and he said, I don't know how he works at night, it stinks. And to be fair, it did, like I said to you earlier, when he opened those doors at 8:30 last night, it was still really strong. And it smelt worse than when you was applying it, which was a bit weird. But
even what probably happened there, even though I loaded it up with hardener, because it's only a thin primary layer with no glass behind it to generate the, build the heat up in a good thickness, which is what this 2 450s is going to do. I'll talk to you about the layup in another clip. It was just taking such a long time to go off, and at that point it was really, that reaction was really kicking in when you open the doors.
It was a bit. Right, so we'll swing back later when Matt's done a bit more work.
do, Paula, we'll let this call this the layup, yeah, and the next thing I do to it, which is actually something I don't do to it, is just letting it wet out.
Yeah.
So while that's wetting out, this window frame is done. You kind of need to do this like a mechanic at the top, you know, where a mechanic feels for a nut and bolt that he can't see.
Yeah.
Make sure that's fully wet out with resin. So the thing not to do to it now is just to start really hitting it with these paddle rollers, yeah?
Yeah.
So let this all wet out. Just make sure that's wet through. And then make sure that's wet out. And then come over to this, these two returns.
Shift over there.
Now while this lot is going through its wetting out stage, these can be laid up. If you look at the colour of that resin, it's not going off at 100 mile an hour, you know, it's
gone darker though,
gone
isn't it?
darker, which
You
is
can
an
see that.
indicator of how much time or how little time you've got left. Hey, it's almost beginning to sound like a tutorial, isn't it?
Oh God. I wouldn't even attempt to.
Well, it's just for
do
Keith
it.
so he can see
Yeah.
the process, because, you know, just like when he was fitting the carpets the other day, I'm looking, I'm thinking, if I tried that,
Yeah.
it would just take me so much longer, and I'd get all lumps and creases in it and all sorts of.
It's a skill over the years, isn't it? It's like he's done that for 30 odd years or whatever.
Yeah.
You've done this for God knows how many years. It's, you know, it's a skill, isn't it? It's like any trade, isn't it? Everything's got its own mechanics.
Yeah, right up until Facebook comes along and they tell you it's a piece of piss.
Yeah. Yeah. Keyboard warriors. That's a skill.
Careful, we'll get slagged off. The video's made about us.
Oh dear.
Right, so that's wet through.
It's like candy floss.
The trick is to turn it from this candy floss look into something nice and flat and smooth,
Yeah.
and of course 100% watertight.
Yeah.
Right, now these two are wetting out, and that's wetting out over there. This around the window frame that has been on since I started 20
Yeah.
minutes or so ago, that has reached the point now where I can put the paddle roller against it, which is going to give a bit of splatter off, so you just might want to
Shift back over there.
move the camera a bit.
I'm trying not to break my neck over these tools. gone on really nice onto that frame, hasn't it?
Keith said the other day that he's put this little rounded effect on
Yeah,
because he knew the fact, because of watching the videos, he knew the fiberglass likes a rounded sort of.
rounded edge rather than a corner. Yeah.
So some people do watch the videos, take what's in them, rather than just looking at the pretty bit at the end.
Oh yeah, trust me, when he studies something, he studies it fully, 100%. He makes sure, he tries to make sure that he, especially when it's something you don't know anything about.
Just going to put the paddle roller over this section and there's 2 returns there. Then I'll put the tissue on,
Yeah,
which, you know, that demonstration I gave you a minute ago of
yeah,
the difference of what it looks like. Now this is going to be an age-old argument forever about fiberglass, and in fact one of my customers even said it. I don't care what the finish looks like as long as it's waterproof. I'm like, well, my gig is that when I say hand the pond back to you, I want you to look at it and think,
that's charming. Yeah, spot on.
could have had this finish, but
Nearly
it's
fell in there.
It's so difficult to show it up on camera. I know from myself, and I've seen loads of ponds, that you can't see the fiberglass after a few weeks.
Yeah, because you're going to get algae on it eventually.
But it's that lag time
Yeah,
that I want you to just look at it and think, yeah man. Plus, it makes life easy for me to put that flow coat on a flat finish.
that's very true. And as somebody who does painting, I know that. it's easier to paint a flat surface than it is something like wood chip.
Again, round tight.
But not only that, you take pride in your work at the end of the day. You know, you always have done from all the videos we've watched. And if you ain't happy with it, then
Something like a frog pond. Just while you got the camera there, I'll just give you that demonstration of what the tissue does. Something like a frog pond, you wouldn't bother.
yeah,
In some circumstances, you ain't getting this tissue on because it's too hot. Now, I'll try and be not clever, but catch that. So, take that over there, and then catch the pipe in one as well, if that can behave itself. Again, it's not going to be easy for the camera to see it, but you can see it with the eye.
yeah.
I've jumped the gun a little bit, literally just for the video, because I wanted to just come round this,
Recess.
round that corner. But while you're there with the camera,
You know what it reminds me of doing papier-mâché stuff when I was at school.
except that didn't smell like
It
this.
didn't smell like that at all.
Not at 8 o'clock at night in your
Oh
house.
God, no. It was funny when it was like, oh, that stinks.
Good as that. Another tissue on while you're with the camera. Just watching the colour of this resin as well.
Yeah.
You know when I said I'll probably do the window frames, the corners, the drains all in one go?
No.
No. Not at my slow old age. Like I said in the clip before this, there's no way, right, you have to do it like this. There's loads of different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
If I'd got another GRP guy with me, we'd smash this out in a day.
Yeah.
Quite easily, but flying solo, this will be a two-day glassing job with no rush. You're only around the corner, so no need to use the paddle roller on this, but if you want to just tease it in with a brush, control the thickness in corners, just knock him down a bit. And then once all of the window is done, glass tissue gone off and flow coated, we'll measure up, allow for an allowance.
Yeah. And get the glass all.
So you're not jamming the glass in.
Yeah.
Because fiberglass doesn't form an exact corner, it sort of rounds itself a little bit.
Yeah.
And what you don't want to be doing is trying to jam the glass in, have a bit of a slip allowance.
You need a bit of wiggle room, don't you?
Yeah. For the 16 men and women that are going to be putting this piece of glass in for you.
Oh God, there's going to be loads. It's going to be
Crikey.
one heavy piece of glass. This one won't be as bad, but it's still. It'll definitely be a room with a view. Bloody fish better appreciate this.
You showed anyone what it looks like from the lamp?
No, I'm going to do that. Well, I'm sure people will, but yeah, I might actually add that in.
Well, I looked at it yesterday when the phone was on, and I'm like, well, I've seen it before, obviously, when I've been round on my visit,
Yeah,
and I know why it's been built like this and exactly where it is
yeah.
and why.
And the plans and what's next and all that. It'll be absolutely. Something else.
It takes time to get there, don't it?
Same as everything, you know. We'll get there eventually. There's no rush. Not going anywhere. And definitely not flipping moving again.
Yeah, this resin is just starting to thicken up a little bit, so I think this tissue on this session will do for now.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've got the perfect judgment now of how much hardener. Temperature's climbing up a little bit, so I've dropped the hardener down a tad with intolerances.
Good. Right, I'll let you finish that, and I shall go and make a brew and a breakfast cob.
Beautiful.
So we'll be back in a bit and show you a bit more when some more's been. Hi everyone, so we're back again with Matt again. It's now Wednesday the 21st of September. It's approximately 10 AM in the morning. Matt turned up just after 9. So he's just going to give you a quick run through of what his plan for today is.
Smash a load of glass on. We're in good shape from yesterday. We're exactly where I wanted to be. Everything that was you could even call mildly technical, is out of the way, so it's literally just smashing drops on there. Probably do it. Remember on older video of mine where I said the resin was really acting up? It was just so fast.
Yeah.
It was just something they'd modified in that one batch. It's returned back closer to normal kind of parameters, but it's still quick in the bucket, hence me literally burning through these buckets.
Yeah.
So, taking the temperature into account, as of right now, because we've got the glass and the tissue cut ready to go, resin's there, plus another tin there. There is that little bit of thinking to do, because it's quick in the bucket. It's all absolutely
Yeah, solid.
gone off.
And fumes as well, you need to take that into account, because yesterday it got a bit overpowering,
It was
didn't
getting a
it?
bit rich even with the fan on, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. So yeah, look at it as, right, bearing in mind the resin is quick still, I'm thinking this wall, that's a good session.
Yeah.
Because what I don't want is when this resin, it does get warm, is for it, that warmth to be in the roller. You can wring it out, but you just forget it. Just
Yeah, you might as well just buy a new roller.
take a break and wash the tools out. That would be a good session. That's a good hour's work, and maybe a tad more. Plus, same on that wall, even though there's already a drop.
Yeah.
Let that go off to the point where you can just, don't really need, again, just good practice, just denib this edge that you're going to join onto.
Yeah.
And the floor is where I wanted to be at yesterday, so everything can come over here, ready to work back to it
Yeah.
when the floor starts to go down. I could do a Keith here, really. He's a floor specialist.
He is, isn't he?
Yes. Stick a mask on him and a pair of gloves.
Oh, he won't do it. He can't stand the smell, can he?
Strong, isn't it?
Even when I was painting your van yesterday on the drive at the other side of the house, I could smell it from there. So
Well, you texted me the other night saying you won't smell it, you'll be out doing the van. I
Yeah.
said, nope.
I thought I ain't gonna smell it from over there, but I did. Bloody did.
What do you think of, how do you find the vapour?
Like I said, it's not a horrible smell. It's just very, very. It's like a strong paint thinner, if that kind. Trying to describe it's really
It's a
difficult.
difficult one, it's got a unique smell of
Yeah.
its own. Now what I do, religiously, keep the lid on that. Not very often will I have the acetone in here, but because I've got the space, it is in here. But the lid is, religiously on. You don't want that vapour coming out in here and
Yeah.
getting at you. So, skimmer's done, pipes, I've cut those off. I gave Keith a bit of a demo yesterday of what the fiberglass is like. I may as well do that with you as well, Paul. You just want to have a step round here.
Oh, let me see if I can. Oh, come through the window, kind of.
Yeah, just have a step round here. I'll just give you a demo of what that
Bring that
feels
on.
like.
Here's Splinters, photo bombing. Ness is on the sofa.
Just rub your fingertips very, very gently on that.
Yeah, I
very,
love that.
very, very gently on that. Just describe what that feels like. Very gently.
It is, yeah, very gently.
A little bit bitty, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I just give it a kiss with that paper and you do that again with your fingers.
Yeah, that's smoother, isn't it?
Totally
You
different
can
again,
tell
isn't
it.
it?
Yeah.
So the whole pond is, once it's all glassed, which hopefully will be today, but like we said, there's no rush. Even my old bones should be able to get this finished today.
Well, I know. I want to
Glassing wise anyway.
get the van painted, but I'm having to watch old Madam chewing
Yeah,
a flipping
same.
tail.
So yeah, that's where we're at. We're not going for gold to speak, we're going to just plod through it.
Right, I'm going
And
to
it's
let.
come out, one thing actually to say to Keith is, there hasn't been much, if anything, for the foam to overcome.
With regards to block work?
Yeah, the block work is absolutely fine. Just looking down that wall there, where it's been glass,
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
Spot on, and he's done a bloody good job. I've said it to him all along.
For a DIY build, you couldn't ask for more.
Yeah. And you can tell as well by how much paste you've put.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's not
Almost
much.
none. That's probably just my bad cutting. And these plastic pipes you've got in here, crikey, my
It's broke one of Matt's
power cutter. It was going into
blades.
Limp mode. It was into limp mode to protect itself.
And they're just waste pipe from.
I mean, you can see this darker patch.
Screw
That's where
fix.
there's extra layers of glass around. It
Yeah.
could rip down onto the pipe. But crikey, they were tough to get through. They were.
Which is, I'd have thought pressure pipe would be more difficult to cut.
Well, I noticed it yesterday because I was sticking out
Yeah.
where I asked Keith to leave them, and then for glassing purposes, just cut them back. For
Yeah.
Making that impression on the back with the foam. Even then I realised how tough they were, let alone with multiple layers of glass on. You know what you?
I mean, I suppose they are pressure pipe in their own right, aren't they? It's just not marketed. It's not
It's
sold,
tough.
is it?
Tough pipes.
So yeah, that's a save. What's up with you?
Love you, youth.
You're jealous.
Come here.
Oh, here comes the Nesses.
Oh, good boy. Right, I shall crack
Right,
on.
you crack on. When you're ready for a break, let me know and I'll
You know what?
breakfast.
Is there anything?
Josh.
Just read what's on.
On me cup. that was. That's the cup that I got for my birthday.
Talking to tea, is there any chance of one? Cause,
Yeah, I'm going to make it because you filled the last one full of dust. Yeah, come on, Splints. Who's this on here? Look, his Ness's. Shush you. So yeah, I'll be watching these pair wire marks out there doing that. He keeps nicking her toys, look. Right guys, back in a bit.
Right, morning Keith, this is about the best angle I can get on the camera for you, seeing as you're not here to see this be going on. Right, that's totally gone. 17 minutes 36 seconds and it's just turned to snot. So 2 hits to do it, which was to be expected anyway, Keith. So we'll clean this up and let this go off to a certain point before I join onto it. Can't see anything that you would want to be aggressively rubbing out or anything like that. The window's kept down, so nothing's getting blown in like it did immediately before I was about to start, so gave it another brush up. Alright, let's Get this roller cleaned up.
Okay, so back, and that was what's happened this week. We've had pond fiberglassed. Not a lot of filming happened on Friday. We took Matt out for a well-deserved drink and a meal. Massive thank you to Matt. He's worked solid on doing that, and he's done a fantastic job. And seeing Keith's face, the smile on his face every day when he's got home from work. He's got home work early. I'm sure he's rushed his work so he could come home early. But the smile on his face is just unreal. He's so chuffed with it. But yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna flip the camera around and show you what we will see, and you'll see something else as well, because that's in the way of the pond, but that can't be helped. So let's just zoom out. So basically, when we're sat here on the sofa, and please excuse the dirty windows, I did clean one of them, the one on the right hand side, but that's going to be the view that we're going to see from here on the sofa. The window is behind that Nexus pod, which is one of the bargains that he's been and purchased today off Facebook Marketplace. Now it's a Nexus 200, which is going to work fine for what we need. We were initially looking at getting a 320 before for what we're doing. It's going to work out fine. It's cost £60. £60 for this Nexus 200. It's got the middle bit missing, but Keith thinks he can make that. So for 60 quid, you cannot. What a bargain. What a bargain. I'll come back and show you the rest of the pond in a minute. I'm just going to show you the other bargain that we've got. We drove up to Wakefield yesterday to collect this. This gimbal's still playing me up. So this is a stainless steel sieve filter, which was £8. So that I'm going to go into more detail about the filters next week, because I don't want to overload everybody with too much information this week, so that can wait till next week. But now, as you can see, this is just awesome. Look at this, guys. It's done. He's put the lids for the bottom drains in. We're now putting some water in. You probably see there's probably a bit deeper on this bottom corner than over there, or maybe the water's just taking longer to go. But absolutely, it's looking awesome. He's put the artwork up. So they are now in situ. Yes, we probably have to move them about a bit when we do the coping stoves and stuff. And I still need to do a little bit of painting on those two fish at the back, which is going to be fun considering it's now up, and I'm going to have to do it on ladders with water in the pond, so that's going to be fun. Glass sizes we're still debating where to get them from at the moment, and I'll explain that in next week's as well, but we don't want to leave that too long, because we really need to get that done soon as, before it starts to get too cold, because it is getting proper cold. I have done a bit more painting on the van, which I'll show you next week as well. Hopefully I can get that finished this week, this coming week. But yeah, really chuffed with progress this week. It's just phenomenal. It's just absolutely changed the outlook of everything. Once we've put some water in, it doesn't matter if it rains now, to be honest. It can rain as much as it likes, and we can take the covers off. Simple as that. So yeah, 100% thank you. So there you go, guys. Chuffed to bits, and cannot wait for the next steps with the windows, etc. So again, thanks to all the new subscribers. We look forward to the next stages with the filters, etc. But yeah, anyone who's interested in me doing some artwork for them, just remember to drop me a comment and have a look at the art video. But thanks for that, guys, and we will see you next week with next week's update.